morning, everyone. My name is Megan Fenton, and I'm your worship associate this morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness, in your teal hymnal.
Good morning. My name is Jim Russell, and I'm the president of the Board of Trustees. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley. Whether you have been with this congregation a decade or more, or this is your first time coming, we welcome you. Whatever the faith and traditions of your past, we welcome you. Whatever your theological stance, we welcome you. Whoever you are and whomever you love, we welcome you. Whatever your heritage, we welcome you. We respectfully acknowledge the territory on which our church building sits as the ancestral homelands of the Munsee, Lenape, and Wappinger people. I just have one announcement this morning. The Arts Committee is asking that anyone who has art hanging in the sanctuary to remove it after the service because new art is going to be installed this week. For the most up-to-date information on this and other topics, please refer to our weekly e-newsletter and check our website frequently. And please join us for conversation after the service. If you are present in the sanctuary, please join us for coffee in the fellowship hall. If you're watching the live stream, the link to our Zoom coffee hour can be found in the Saturday reminder in your email. If you're just recently joining us and would like to receive our weekly e-news, please email us at uukroton@gmail.com with your name, and we will make sure you are added to our e-news list. Please remember to silence your cell phones at this time. Once again, we welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley.
Good morning. Good morning. It is a gorgeous, rainy day. The water reminds us we are connected to life and possibility. And even though school has still started, we still have a week or two left of summer before officially the fall season begins, which is why today is so special. This is the ceremony of the blessing of the backpacks and notebooks. And whether you have been in school a week, whether you are homeschooled, whether you are always at school in heart, this is a time and a moment to mark as a community our hopes, our blessings, our confidence in you as this new year begins. And to honor the values of this congregation, a community that has gathered in this space since the 1960s, in a sanctuary that is next spring 100 years old. We gather together like generations before us with hope for the power of love in the world. And in that spirit, in a moment, I will invite the children in the sanctuary to join Jane Podell, our Director of Religious Exploration, in the bell tower where we will ring our bell for values of hope, generosity, compassion, and justice to remind us what we are committed to and to one another. Jane. And may the sound of that bell echo throughout the whole region, if not the world.
Today's chalice lighting comes from Cheryl Strayed from her biography about her journey on the Pacific Crest Trail. My mom said there's a sunrise and a sunset every day, and you can choose to be there for it or not. You can put yourself in the way of beauty. Now please join me in our unison affirmation. The words are in your order of service. Inspired by love, our mission is to seek our true nature, connect deeply and openly, and act for justice.
It is a tradition in our congregation to sing a song of praise in English and Spanish. You can follow the tune in your hymn book, hymns number 381 and 382, Song of Praise. Faith in this congregation in the power of songs to heal and inspire and ground us. And it is a joy this morning. I get to welcome our music director for this year, the wonderful. And this Sunday, I'm excited to welcome our choir forward to sing Gather by the River to Pray. This is a breathing exercise that comes to us from the Buddhist tradition, and specifically the teacher Thich Nhat Hanh. He writes, breathing in and breathing out is an exercise many people use. Whether they're on the bus, whether they're at home, whether they're with friends or by themselves. So all together, let's take a breath. And simply exhale. Breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in. I'm aware of the whole length of my in-breath. whole length of my out-breath. Breathing in, I'm aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I relax my body. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, it is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. And breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. This Sunday, we're doing something very unique for our congregation. I'm really excited about what is about to happen. We're going to bless backpacks. If you brought a backpack, could you hold it up? Oh my gosh. Alex, this is more backpacks than I anticipated. Okay, everyone, we're gonna need every person in the congregation to help out right now. So first, if you have a backpack, can you unzip it? You can pick which compartment. It could be the big compartment or a little bit. Okay. And when you've done that, hold up your backpack. Almost there. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now, everyone who does not currently have a backpack, I need you to take a breath, and I need you to think about what intentions you want to give to these amazing young people in our congregation. Maybe it's safety, maybe it's love, courage, a willingness to try something new, even when it's scary. Think about the intention that you want to give to the children in this congregation. And imagine you can hold it in your hand, maybe like a snowball. Now, once you have that intention in your hand, I'm going to invite all the young people, please stand up with your backpacks. Now I want all the adults in the room to start throwing your intentions into the backpacks. You can throw multiple intentions if you want. Okay, we have one more. Okay. All right. Now, holding your backpack. Might not feel heavy, but it is full. It is full of love and compassion and courage for you for this year and for the years after that. And now we're going to do something really traditional a little bit. I'm going to do the prayer that we usually use for flower ceremony, where we bless the flowers. But instead of blessing the flowers, I'm going to bless these compasses, which will now be your compass. So whatever happens this year, you'll have a little tool to find out your true north and remember the love of this community as you're going through in your head. So, I will now consecrate or dedicate these compasses with this prayer. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these, thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us amidst diversities of knowledge and gifts to be one in desire and affection and devotion to the holy will of love. May they remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of the most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, big or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do that work in this world. These compasses are blessed by the love of this room. The backpacks are filled with the intentions of this community. And may you know, whatever happens this year, that you are surrounded by love and people who will protect you and help you show up. So your bag might not look any different, but it's carrying a special gift from our community. Surrounded by love, compassion, and friendship. And may this year, whatever comes, be one of growth and new opportunities. Our religious exploration for the year will start in a moment. And Miss Jane will have a few surprises for the RA kids and a special little activity in the fellowship hall. And when you go out, know that we are with you. May you be surrounded by love. And let us sing, Go Down in Peace. words in Unitarian Universal have said is that we try to be the religion of the open heart and the helping hand. And one way we do that as a community is we have a monthly share the plate, where a little bit of the collection we take each week gets shared with community groups in and around our area doing really impactful, meaningful work, especially now, especially in the time of so much disruption here. It is a great joy today that we are able to invite Gunnar Anderson from the Croton Portland Food Pantry to come forward and tell us a little bit about the work of this profoundly impactful organization in our area. This is the cause we're working with this month. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I'm so glad that I see so many friends that I have here. And now my friend Alex is here too, so it's really great. I do also want to say thank you. I'm a very big participant in the Jazz at the UU, and I want to thank you for hosting that. It's a wonderful program. We amateurs get to play with the professionals there. Thank you for that. Now, onto the pantry. As you know, we are the Croton Portland Food Pantry. We're located in Croton-on-Hudson at Holy Name Church. And we are open twice a month, the first and third Saturdays. And we are now getting about 170 families. 2 years ago, we had 130 families, then it was 150 last now. So figure 170 families, and think of all those families each leaving with 2 or 3 bags of groceries. It's getting to be a big operation over there. So where does the food come from? Mainly from Feeding Westchester. That's a wonderful organization. It is the food bank for Westchester, and each county has one. They deal with the federal government and the state and various organizations to get money in. It's mainly from the federal, the TPAP programs and whatnot, that they get most of the money in, and we get deliveries from them every Friday. I'm looking at Bernie and Bob now, they're always there to help unload the truck. We get about 2 or 3 big pallets of food from them, and of that we maybe pay for like 25% of that. But as the cuts are happening on the federal level, my wife is telling me to speak up there. As the cuts are happening on the federal level, we're finding there's less and less food coming in to meet the needs, and we're going more and more into other food providers, which we have to pay for. And this is the same with other pantries. The number of people coming is increasing, and the amount of money supplied by the federal government is decreasing. So this comes to why I go around speaking to people all the time. There are many ways that you can help out with this. I know that you have a donation bin here for foods. There is also one at Food Town. One idea we have is when you're shopping at a place like Food Town and you're getting your groceries, buy an extra bag of pasta or something and just drop it in the donation bin on the way out. We have a website, Food Pantry in Croton, and it has a wonderful donation button on it. If you click on that, you can send money via PayPal or credit card. We have an address, you can mail us a check, and no matter how you donate, you'll get a lovely thank you letter from my wife, who's sitting back there, pen in hand, ready to send you a thank you letter. So, we are an all-volunteer organization, so aside from rent and websites and all, everything pretty much goes to food. And just one comment about the most important part of this is the people who come to the pantry. We get a lot of families. It's common to see a little kids sitting in the food cart along with the groceries, or kids following their mother around the pantry. We get older people, often people with walkers and canes. We get healthy, middle-aged adults that just aren't making enough money to cover all their expenses at home. And I'll give you one short example. A woman who came to the pantry fairly often, and she comes 2 hours early, and she waits outside the door. And I said, why in the world are you because that way she can be first in line, she can pick up her groceries, she can get on the bus, she can go home, she can put them away, she can get on the bus again, come back, and be at work at 10 a.m. So these are people who are trying their best, they're struggling very hard, and it's just not enough to meet their needs. Thank you so much for having me today.
Please join me in a responsive reading. It's number 567 on your grade hymnal. To be of use. I will read the standard print, and we will all read the print in LCD. I want to be with people who submerge in the task. Who go into the fields for harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along. Who stand in the line and haul in their places. Who are not part of the generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the flour is out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well, done, has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn, are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The fisher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is due.
As a faith community, as Unitarian Universalists, all over the world, people participate in the ritual of joys and sorrows. It takes many forms. Several times a year in our congregation, we offer it as a memorial time. This Sunday, as we begin a new school year, as fall is ending and summer soon to begin, I invite us this Joys and Sorrows Memorial Bell to consider those who have been our guides, to think about those who have made a difference in our life. In a moment, I will ring a bell 3 times for all those who have been guides in our life in the past, the present, and those we have not yet met. Then I invite you, as you discern, to just say aloud the name of someone you are holding on your heart, and I will ring the bell for them. After the last name is spoken, I will ring the bell 3 times for those we have met, for those we are thinking of right now, and for those we will meet in the future.
Lisa Cash. Jenkins. Mike Barthel. Anne Marie. Irene Campbell.
Margie Kemper,
Ken Joseph,
William Hunter, Richard Small, Judy Stillman,
Dan Gold,
Eric Slicker, Teresa McMeehan,
Joe,
Patty Kaufman,
Jack Lewis,
Janine Clark,
Renee Danaher.
Jeff Burns,
Zero more.
Margaret Reebok,
Ronald Green,
Lisa Smith, Margaret Rubin, Denise Zika,
service for just a moment of meditation, centering, prayer, pause. Spirit of life and love, bigger than the universe, smaller than a grain of sand, remind us of all those who have accompanied us on our journeys, who have given us direction, sometimes perhaps unintentionally, but given us a spark, a curiosity, a rededication, who inspired us to find something deep within us to keep going in hard moments. May we remember and honor those who came before us, and may we seek to cultivate and honor the sparks in one another. Religious exploration is something that I love. I think it is amazing. I think the essence of our faith is trying to support one another on a journey over time, in different ways and for different seasons. The late Reverend Sophia Lyon-Foss said, the question is how to educate for a changing religion in a changing universe. As Unitarians and Universalists, we're part of a long, dynamic, beautiful, contested heritage. And we are one of many religious liberals in the world as a religious movement. And the question time and again is, what do we teach our children? What do we teach each other? But what do we teach our children? And the truth is that question is as old as Unitarianism and Universalism. Over time, if you look at all the history books, I could give you a long list. You'll see this ongoing debate in each generation. Should the focus of our faith be personal piety and character development? Should it be emphasis on justice and transformation in the world? Should we study deep ancient scriptures? Should we forget about the past and just learn about gardening and nature and the power of birds? Should we learn about sexuality and writing about credos and self-reflection? And at different moments in our history, we've emphasized one or the other. At certain points, we've tried to do all of those. And if you look back at our ancestors, there are kind of two trends. On our Universalist family side, they were actually among the first denominations in the country to say Sunday schools are important. And in fact, congregations should have publicly accessible libraries where people from the community can come and learn about topics of a range of backgrounds. And essentially, Universalists, for most of the time, just viewed themselves as liberal Christians with a strong emphasis on social service. Unitarians, always more complicated. And in our tradition, the big debate from the beginning was between a group that saw themselves more as a funny kind of Christian, like a liberal Christian who really loved what Jesus said, but we're not certain that Jesus was God. And then a group called the Transcendentalists, who were spiritual seekers who saw so much power of transformation and inspiration in nature. For the Sunday schools, for the liberal Christians, students would memorize the parables of Jesus. They would memorize the old school 5 principles. And they were taught to be respectful of their neighbors, whatever their religion. And in case you were wondering, the old principles, which you can still find in some churches on the back wall, say, we believe as Unitarians in the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man, the leadership of Jesus, salvation by character, and the progress of humankind onward and upward forever. The Transcendentalist tradition, which over time became more dominant in our tradition, and really even back in the 19th century, through the influence of women like Elizabeth Peabody, emphasized physical activity, learning, gardening, farming, studying texts from many different religions, and always encouraged active social service. And the motto of that school within our tradition was always, love the good, live the good. Love the good, live the good. And then in Britain, there was actually a third school because in parts of the UK, Unitarianism was a much more working class movement, especially in the north. And there was actually a whole labor Sunday school movement where children were taught about unions and supporting their parents when they were on strike and being more engaged as workers. That wasn't really a tradition in our nation, but just something to name. From the beginning, there were debates about what do we do? What do we do with our children? Reverend William Ellery Channing was one of the most prominent Unitarian preachers in the first half of the 19th century before the Civil War. He said the point of our Sunday school should be to awaken the soul, to cultivate the inward life. That is what we're about. He was really against those who just encouraged memorization, but wanted to cultivate curiosity. And that emphasis on cultivating curiosity became more and more dominant in our faith. After World War II, on both the Universalist and Unitarian sides, there was this commitment to active engagement. The Universalist Angus MacLean said, "The method is the message. All this applies as much to the enterprises of a congregation as to the classroom. If a congregation's work is limited to giving good verbal counsel, and in no way a community response to the world's ills, likely doesn't mean what it's saying, and it only teaches what it does to its children." Dr. Sophia Lyon-Fahs, who was the predominant Unitarian religious educator of the 20th century, offered a vision of faith that said, our direction needs to be forward. It's not our ancestors who will be changed. It's our contemporaries. They are those who we must focus on. For life goes not backwards, nor tarries with yesterday. And this emphasis put us at odds with many of the other liberal religious movements, both among Reformed Jews and liberal Protestants. Because whereas many traditions try to emphasize a balance of reason, studying scripture, tradition, and experience, by the middle of the 20th century, our faith was like, the predominant teachers are experience and reason. Scripture is okay. No, ritual is important, but really not the most important aspect of our faith. And this led to two trends, some beautiful, some complicated. At its most beautiful, this led to field trips to neighboring houses of worship, exploring courses and honoring human sexuality like our whole lives, engagement with social service and community support, deep commitment to the civil rights movement and the strikes in the California Valley for the workers, time for self-reflection to write credos and personal statements, and a constant commitment to curiosity. But at its least successful, at times, we ended up with a situation where children who grew up UU as adults would say, I don't actually know what Unitarians believe. I learned a lot about my Episcopalian and Muslim neighbors, but I don't actually know anything about Unitarians. In the early 2000s, Reverend Galen Gingrich wrote a beautiful essay about arguing that as Unitarian Universalists, we need to grow a muscle for more spiritual practices, and suggested that perhaps at dinner time, as a faith movement, we should encourage gratitude sharing. Just like we do joys and sorrows on Sunday, maybe at dinner, Unitarian Universalist families could be known for having a moment where they say what they're grateful for from the day past. And Reverend Gingrich said this happened because he was asked by a congregant, my 12-year-old was playing on the playground recently with her Jewish and Catholic friends. The topic of religion came up, and they asked her what Unitarians believe. She found it a little hard to respond. Is there a playground-ready answer? And then Reverend Galen thought, I'm going to ask my daughter, because she'll have the best answer. And then he asked his daughter Zoe, and he said, she gave a very orthodox Unitarian Universalist response. Dad, we believe whatever we want. And he reflected, he's like, that was a bit jarring. And I thought, perhaps this answer is not good enough. And it certainly doesn't work on the playground. He's like, that's as if my daughter's friends asked, where do you live? And she replied, I can live wherever I want. And he said, people may be attracted to this beautiful principle I added people. 2, Unitarian Universalism, because we don't believe in a doctrine that they find abhorrent, but they won't stay because of what's missing. He said, people don't go to Carnegie Hall because of what they won't hear. And in more healthy instances, I think there are examples in this congregation of this faith in commitment to the experience can bring beautiful, good fruit. And as we approach 100 years, it's always good to, the building, 100 years, it's always good to look back at the past. And I found out in 1969, this congregation opened its pulpit up to the valedictorian of Peekskill High School. There was a New York Times article about it, and it said, quote, 17-year-old Alan Koritsky delivered his valedictory speech in a congregation today after he had been barred from reading the Peekskill High School's commencement exercise because it was judged in poor taste and included an obscenity. The young valedictorian was applauded when he read from the pulpit of the Croton Unitarian Universalist congregation or church during morning worship. When Reverend Dana Klotzel, minister of this church in this Westchester town near Peekskill, learned that the principal of the school had canceled the young man's appearance, he invited the student to address the congregation. In the 8-minute talk, the student called the war in Vietnam ugly, obscene, stupid, and ludicrous. When the young man sat down, the 150, how is that possible? 150 congregation rose and applauded. And then Reverend Klotzel said he felt moved to do this because it was an insult to the community that educators denied students the opportunity of making their own decisions. That faith in experience and trust that sacred messages are not just in the past, but happening now, has continuing impulse. I looked at another example from our history. Carl Grimm in 1976, during the bicentennial, arranged for the guest preacher to be a pilot who brought their airplane glider outside. You can see a photo in the hallway. And Carl wrote, my pilot friend John Crespo gave us a fascinating flying experience that Sunday. I was program director looking for something different. And then Carl said, I wrote an article for the UU World about spirituality in the clouds at about that time. In expanding the use of the pulpit and the Sunday service to include reflection not only of ancient scriptures, but contemporary life, our congregation emphasized the power of finding the sacred in contemporary experience. And I know it may seem at 50 years distance or so, well, of course the Unitarian Universalist congregation would welcome a young anti-war speaker. The New York Times said we were 150 people in 1969. And I've looked at the church record. We were not 150 people. So when you take these bold stands and live your values, it can cause chaos and disruption. And there are costs to that. I think about the emotions if we had a high school valedictorian who came and spoke about the war in Gaza. There would be arguments. That was brave to do in 1969. It doesn't seem it, because in retrospect we tell the good stories about ourselves, but it was brave. Our faith asks us to do hard things. It asks us to both engage with the ancient texts and stories to see how they are still relevant, and it asks us to look at the world we are in right now and figure out what, as citizens, as neighbors, we are called to do in this particular moment. And it is a most disorienting moment. But this congregation was formed when Senator Joseph McCarthy was still echoing over the airwaves. Margaret Chase Smith, who was a senator from Maine, one of the first female senators at the time, talked about the need to protect the American right to protest and to free speech. And she criticized Democrats and Republicans for being cowardly in the early moments of the Cold War. And in our time, we must do all we can to protect the safety, health, and livelihood of the free society that allows religious movements like Unitarian Universalism to exist. At different points in our religion's history, we have been illegal. For part of the history of the United Kingdom, up into the early 19th century, it was illegal to be a Unitarian. And yet people still met on side streets and rooms not bigger than this because they thought it was important for a free interpretation of Scripture. We're part of an old, winding road. And we've been given such a gift to be here at this complicated, difficult time. And I ask us to remember, just as we gave intentions to our children today to have them be surrounded by love, may we give those intentions to one another and ask ourselves, how do we live love in this moment? What is it calling us to do? And it might be different than what we've done before. And we might not yet know the answer. But Reverend Wendy Von Corder has this beautiful vision where she said, I think ultimately what our faith community about in its myriad forms and styles is a place to practice and inspire a faithful risk. So as we participate in a changing religion, in a changing world, may we help one another take faithful risks. May it be so.
Each week, we make an offering from the bounty we are blessed to enjoy. We do this in the spirit of love and generosity, aware that we have benefited from those who have gone before, those who in their turn gave generously. Our offering goes to support the work of love and justice undertaken by this community. Today's offering will also be shared with yes. Now I have a bulletin from January. Will be shared with the Croton Cortland Food Pantry. Founded at Asbury Methodist Church, they are now located at Holy Name of Mary Church. Their mission is to help alleviate hunger among families and individuals whose income is insufficient for their needs. You can make your donation in several ways. If present in the sanctuary, you may give cash or a check in the offering plate as it comes by. From your homes, you can make your donation via credit card or PayPal using the links provided in the e-newsletter, or by visiting our website, UUCHV.org. Or if you prefer, you may always mail us a check. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
may you know compassion, and together may we all take a faithful risk. May it be so.